like that. I want to find out what are some of the myths about being an entrepreneur.
Myths about being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Some people think they'll get rich quick. It happens a lot and they don't. And they fail and they never try again. But entrepreneurship is all about failing often and licking your wounds and moving on as fast as you can.
And that is what is not said often enough. Because when I was reading the book and I heard about Ford and how Ford was formed and how many times he failed and got back up, and all we see is the vehicle and we see the luxury of wealth, but you don't understand how many times they failed at what they did before they got there.
We don't even call it failure, we call it challenges.
Yeah.
We don't care. And people react to it in a positive way. They see that you wouldn't give up no matter what, they will stop resisting. So I remember when I first started Cashflow Club, my lecturer was against it. He wanted us to stop doing sessions at the university. I was at Roy Tech in Port of Spain. I didn't care. I went straight to the principal. I got permission. I didn't care at all. As far as I knew, I wasn't going to stop these sessions at all. So I just kept it going.
And you were talking about family business. Sometimes, in growing that, you were talking about teams and that kind of thing.
Yeah. You have to, so the school system teaches people about entrepreneurship, and people are under the false impression that entrepreneurship is about being self-employed, doing it by yourself. That's actually wrong. It's a team sport. You have to learn how to operate in a team. You have to have leadership skills. And you have to have the ability to make people like you, right? That takes a particular type of training. You have to learn sales. You have to learn how to deal with people. Sales is not just selling to customers. Sales is dealing with people, getting along with people, getting along with people who ordinarily wouldn't like you. That's sales, right? What you would find is when you can sell, when you learn how to sell, you can make money doing anything. You can sell DVDs and make money. You can sell. I remember in being a sales trainer, one of the people I trained, the biggest money maker was a woman. She was real insecure too, but she was a big money maker. She was selling plastic forks and knives, and napkins, and she had shares in the company. She was really good in sales. She was making plenty of money. And she didn't even think she was doing that well. She thought she was, in her mind, she was like, well, these other salespeople, they're superior to me. He's selling insurance, he's selling real estate, and I'm just selling plastic forks. And this time, there's a company that wraps the plastic forks in the plastic wrap and orders like, whew, if you see her commission, oh my goodness. She didn't know. And I told her, I was like, you are one of the top salespeople I've ever trained in my life. And she didn't know. I was like, you're doing quite well. Wow. Keep it up. You own shares in the company too. You're doing very well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That insecurity as persons doesn't even know that they're doing good, and that self-talk as well. What you say to yourself is so important. Wow.
That's why you need a wealth library. You need to get books like Think and Grow Rich and read it often.
Yeah.
So at our office, even at Cashflow Club, we have a wealth library. We have all these kinds of books here so that people can read it and think differently, You wouldn't think you're a dunce when you read these books. You'll realize, no, it's actually the school system that's dunce. The school system is stupid.
Hey.
It's old. It's from the 19th century. No offense, but it's really old techniques that are from a foregone era that no longer applies. Look at what's happening with AI. People losing their jobs. Just the other day I went to the Unipet gas station and we check out now. All the women doing is taking our money, We pass the items over the bar to read the barcode now. We don't need them anymore now, very soon. It's just be machines. Right? Where are these people going to work? You see, the school system is preparing people to get jobs where there are not enough jobs out there. You have to teach people how to do business. And people have to get accustomed to having family businesses. Every family should have a family business. That's how it's supposed to be. It was that before the industrial age. Before families got separated with employment. Where the wife work with handsome guys in one company and the husband work with beautiful women in the next company and they expect them to have a happy marriage. What madness is that? That's crazy. You just have to read one history book to see that's not a permanent thing. That's not sustainable. Families should work together. You should have more family businesses. It makes kids more stable. I've
You know what you say that because we see other cultures having the children in the family business with them.
yes,
Not to name any, but we
yes.
see it all the time.
Look at how
Until the
different.
children cash in as well.
Look how different your daughter is compared to other 16-year-olds. And she's 16, right?
Yeah.
Look how she's very different.
Yeah.
That's not that okay to me. Running a Cashflow club, that's actually quite normal. I see that in Cashflow all the time. In fact, kids like her usually come to Cashflow with their moms and their dads and stuff and do Cashflow with the family. I see that all the time. They're very stable. They're more focused. They have goals. They might be in sports, like how I was in sports. I was in sports since day one, right? They have that discipline, from day one, and they just grow up differently.
Wow. More family businesses, okay, parents? and then you probably would have children who would say they like business, and what do? You have to encourage them, not discourage them. And
Exactly.
many times they get discouraged because they think that would make money for them.
Mm-hmm. You have to follow your passion.
Yeah.
And the good thing about business is that it's very hard to get fed up of business. You can own any kind of business. You like animals, you can own an animal clinic. You don't have to go to medical school. Remember, in the business ownership side, it's completely different. You don't have to be a police officer. Well, okay, no, that's a wrong example. you don't have to be, a security guard. You can own a security company.
Right.
You don't have to be a vet. You can own a veterinary clinic. You can own a franchise.
I can't call the name of the company.
You can own a law firm.
And Ayana, if you listen to me, you heard this today. Somebody came, and they're part of a particular organization, a very well accredited organization, and she said they are the body where persons must register to be, and none of them know the craft. None of them. Imagine. So as you said that, you can own it. You don't even have to know it, because the skilled people are the ones who register, and the ones who register in the company to show that
we
they are part
hire
of it.
educated people to run our business.
Wow.
Our role is to build business. It's different, and more people need to learn that stuff. Not everybody's gonna do cash flow, but there are a lot more people that are supposed to be business owners. I see talented kids on street corners on a Tuesday night in Carnage. You might pass them in the street and think they're worthless or whatever because their parents are there and whatever. But you don't know that they have well-developed social skills that are precious in business. In business, you need to be street smart. So the kids that have leadership skills, they're the ones who cause any most disruption in the classroom. You're telling the leaders, the real leaders of the country, that they're done from childhood. You're ruining their lives from young. So they grow up thinking they have a problem, and they get low-paying jobs, and they're insecure, and they don't develop their minds and their brains. They don't read these books.
Because they shut it down.
And they don't go into business.
Oh, well, don't even go there. So you know where you're going now? Because I was studying Jewish parenting at one point in time.
They teach entrepreneurship.
Wait, no, it gets better. They tell us, Negroes, that by 12 years old, their children can run businesses. They say by 18, they can be board members. And we develop later because we only at 18 then start teaching our children to be
true.
Leaders. And they also say when there is disagreement in the home, they have them sit down and work it out because they are training them for persons who won't agree with them in board meetings and how to handle it. So they have an advantage at 18 when we now trying to catch up, they have mastered it.
I would agree to a point. Until I started, I remember I trained 1%. And I have seen a lot of, those kids are well balanced. It's different when you grow up in a family business. It's very different. So you get exposed, like how Jewish kids get exposed to business from young. Doesn't matter. Once you grow up in a family business, you get exposed. You have to deal with customers. You have to deal with angry people. You have to deal with irate employees. You will see your parents deal with stuff and you have to help them. You'll be working on a Sunday night. You'll be missing parties because you have to work with your mom to do a project or to check stock. That kind of thing. Your first vehicle might be a van, that kind of thing, because you have to do deliveries at 17 or 18 years old. That's different. When you experience that, and that's not a Jewish experience, that's a human experience. It's just that instead of mostly Chinese kids and mostly Syrian kids experiencing that, I want everybody to experience that now. You know, I think this generation now that we now have access to rich dad poor dad. There's now everywhere. Back in my days when I started Cashflow, it wasn't as common as it is now. I had an uphill battle in the early days, you know, because rich dad poor dad was popular, but it wasn't that popular. Now it's extremely well known. My goodness, it's very easy to convert people into entrepreneurship. They're surrounded by it, and for all those who think Trinidad and Tobago is a banana republic, I'm telling you, one time you're being deceived. It's actually a very wealthy country, and it's about to blow up even more. We think Guyana and Suriname are about to become superpowers, and we're right next to it. We have all the expertise, we have all the engineers. I grew up in the energy sector. My dad built Phoenix Power gas processors. My granddad co-founded Tech Credit Union. I've been in the energy sector since day one. I went to school at Presidential College. All my
so you're press boys, you can be prime minister, you know.
Everybody went press. I see about press events all the time, yeah. But politics too corrupt for me. We prefer the private sector. Yeah, private sector is a lot better. You see, through the private sector, we can plan for the long term. You see, politicians are limited by the 5 years thing. They have to win elections. And it does shorten the ability, it does limit the ability to get things done in the long term. We don't have that problem. We have no elections. we can plan people. So we at 2005, 2006, we were like, we could eradicate poverty by 2030. The way things going, and we just set that goal at first as a joke. We were like, yeah, one day we'll do it, because 2030 is like that weird year that will just never reach, you know. Because it was 2005, 2006.
How could one, in your view, eradicate poverty?
With this thing, oh my God, I can put it into the school system, but it'll happen very fast. Must have it.
Moving forward,
but it'll cause problems because kids will be selling stuff in school. They won't be able to stop them.
And a lot of them that are entrepreneurs today would tell you they used to sell the tambourine bowl, the sugar cake, and
you have an explosion of entrepreneurship in schools. Kids are gonna open up. They will go crazy with it. They love it. They want to make money. The school does prevent them from, well, they have networking and stuff. They still do their thing. Man, it's easy to switch them to entrepreneurship. They don't want, who wants to get a job and work for a salary and be told what to do all day long and work till 7 o'clock and get a small salary every month? Who wants that life? Seriously. When I talk to kids, they start thinking differently very fast, because they might even applaud. They might even applaud because they realize that you have endless opportunity when you add business to the equation. You can still pursue your career, but you can also have your business or businesses on the side.
Yes.
If you lose your job or they downsize you or something happens,
COVID.
Exactly. You have 2 or 3 other sources of income, and that's how it's supposed to be. When you invest in real estate, you're supposed to earn income from real estate. When you invest in businesses, you're supposed to earn income from your businesses. That's all, and you have to get accustomed to that. You know, it's something that culturally we are not exposed to, even though they wanted us to think that way in the past. But the school system just wasn't able to churn that out of people, get that way of thinking into people.
Wow, we have to say it often enough till persons are convinced themselves that they can do it.
Yeah.
Because not hearing it for so long and growing up in another type of belief, that shift, it has to be absolutely very much consistent so that persons can start thinking differently where that part of it is concerned. That's important.
Yeah.
So, well, let me see. What else is there that we can touch on, and parents that can, as they're listening, will be at ease with regards to understanding that it doesn't matter what the teacher says about your child. You're there with them. You must know your skill sets. And I'm seeing more to a lot of parents now are confident in, okay, they're not really into the maths and the physics and then they're probably good with their hands. Let's see.
This immediately deals with the problem of youth unemployment in a very direct way, and we have been tooting this one since 2005 non-stop. We've been outright saying it. I've been doing free talks non-stop. Yuri took it upon himself to document what we're doing for the past 4 years or so, and we have like 100 speeches or something, right? I've been doing speeches in 2005. I didn't document anything. It was just working. So why stop something that works so well? You know, we're just kind of disappointed that a lot of leaders of the country kind of saw it happen and they kind of rock back. Because, I don't know, at first they thought it was fake or whatever, and then when they realized it was real, they were like, you know, they just didn't make any movements. They just observed from the sidelines. And it's a little disappointing, I must admit, but at the same time, I never asked for their help. You know, we don't require financing. We don't require charity. We don't require any of those things. We just don't need any help. So, you know, I guess it's my fault. We just never call him. We really never call him. I mean, we talked to Patrick. He was into it, I must admit. Patrick was into it big time.
Wow.
Patrick believed in it 100%. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. He knew about it big time. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. So we want to encourage parents, you know, to have your children really maximize their potential and what you are seeing in them to help develop. I know it's comforting to hear, you know, if they don't perform the way you would have expected, the way the world has carved out for them to do, there are always other options, and it's okay. My van not working right, so I told you that.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't call a doctor to fix my van. I had to call a mechanic, right? Because I needed that to be done in order for it to work efficiently. And sometimes persons may be scoffed on, right?
Yeah.
And they are so much needed in society.
Yeah, but hear this. Even in auto repair,
Mm-hmm.
the school system teaches them to be an employee. You're a mechanic learning a skill. They don't teach them you can own an auto repair shop and hire mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
That is a skill on its own that you have to learn.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very unfortunate that the only people that learn this stuff are people who are born from a business family.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the only ones who learn those skills. That's why this Richard put that book. They say what the rich teach their kids about money that the poor and middle class do not. There's a lot of information that's not passing down to the poor and middle class, and it's unfair. They call it trickle down economics. The rich are the ones who get all the loans and everything, and expect them to build business, get rich, and provide opportunities and jobs for everybody else. Trickle down, but they trickle down, not reaching the poor, right? What we do, and we call it a poverty eradication program, but we target the middle class. We don't target the poor or the rich. We target the middle class. We expect a trickle down effect from the middle class, and we consistently prove that we can cause a trickle-down effect, even with a speech, even with minimum training, even if they don't attend the entire course, they learn so much valuable skills that they can immediately apply from the very next day. And you know, now we have the ability to take the best graduates, hire them at Remax, pay them the highest commission in the, I would say, the Eastern Caribbean, and make money and watch everybody else say, who's this Remax people? Where does sign come from? Why the signs all over Valpark Shopping Plaza? Where is the sign on the highway? You know, everybody's asking who is Remax, and I'm just saying, you know, Remax is Cashflow Club. It's just in disguise, and my agents are the best of the best, past and future. Yes, because we have some agents that are no longer with us.
Multiple streams of income, so
still rate them up.
Soon I'll be up for hire.
Well, you have a background in sales. You're easy to train. Yeah. And there are a lot of people who are like that. There are a lot of people who have extreme potential to do very well in sales. And they don't know it because, again, they're told, hey, you dance, or you talk too much, or you talk too little, you know, or they think because they're introverted, they wouldn't be good in sales.
Get involved in broadcasting. Hi, miss. Who said, yeah, you talk too much? And here we are today, being paid to talk.
Exactly. But what a lot of introverted people don't realize, especially when they come to do the sales training at Cashflow Club, right? What they don't realize is introverts make the best salespeople. They didn't know that because sales is actually about asking questions. It's not about over talking the person. You have to learn to listen and ask questions. And you can ask questions like an attorney at trial, and lead them towards the sale, almost in a deceptive way. Because it's almost as if they can't say no. You know, it's kind of unfair, but it works. And that's what you have to use in sales all the time, every single day. And as a business owner, you have to do that even more so than a salesperson.
Wow.
That's why entrepreneurs fail so often in business.
Mhm.
Because when they go through the school system or they do a degree or master's in entrepreneurship, which is kind of ridiculous, taught by academics who don't know nothing about entrepreneurship, right? They don't learn the most valuable skill, which is how to close deals, how to get deals, or even how to attract deals. They don't learn these things. And they go out there and they fail. And they fail twice or 3 times and they never try again. They don't have to keep on trying until they realize, hey, you gotta learn sales, you gotta do sales courses, you have to read sales books, you have to learn how to make people like you, you have to attend networking events to let people know who you are, you have to have business cards, you have to learn how to shake people's hands, you have to make eye contact with people, right? You have to know people's names, and if you don't know the names, write it down. When you talk to people, call their first name in the sentence. You have to teach kids how to do that too, so that they are able to get not popular. Well, they get popular very fast because deep down inside, everybody wants to kind of be popular and be liked, be loved, but they don't learn how to deal with other people, right? How to influence people by Dale Carnegie is a good book to read.
That book was a big
I did Dale Carnegie. That's why I learned that stuff.
Wow.
But I was running Cashflow Club for years before, so I knew how important the ability to sell was. So I started Cashflow Club in 2005, but I signed up for Dale Carnegie in 2007. And I did their sales course, and I stayed on as a volunteer for 7 years. I learned as much as I could from them because let me tell you, it's the number one skill by far.
Wow. All right. So Trinidad and Tobago, I know it's a lot. I'm definitely gonna have Roger again. So we're gonna take a break, give you some music,